Thanks for tuning in to Barbershop Sports Talk.
We finally got to see Trey Lance play. There was a lot of bad. There was some good. I want to know your thoughts. I think, from my perspective, the one touchdown he threw, the receiver was wide open, and the receiver had to come back and break his stride to catch it, and then ran it in because nobody was there. So I don't know if I can give him too much credit for that. I thought he was run, read, and go the whole time. I mean, he's very twitchy. He can make people miss in the open field, and that's nice and dandy. But I mean, I obviously don't think that's how San Francisco should be running their offense all the time. What are your thoughts on Trey Lance's performance?
Yeah, I agree with that assessment too. There is a big drop off from throwing the football and the ability to kind of work that full passing game from Jimmy Garoppolo or Trey Lance. I think it was a big step down from that. Now, he does bring, the quarterback run game on the, in the red zone. They've done some of that this year in the red zone in short yardage situations. You could really create a huge numbers game with him. But there is a pretty sizable drop-off, I think, in the passing game from Garoppolo to Trey Lance. Now, I thought he was, the one touchdown guy was wide open, perfectly schemed open. And then, going to have to bring up his completion percentage a little bit. But eventually with the 49ers, how they manage this, I think, is going to be a very critical spot because two quarterback systems in the NFL, they just don't work. And, not talking about bringing in Trey Lance or like a Taysom Hill for short yardage like that, like, a series here, a series there, switching off. That's just way too much pressure on the quarterback to go throw for throw with someone for playing time. So that two quarterback system does not work. So how they go about doing that when Jimmy Garoppolo eventually gets back, it's going to be interesting to see what they do. And I think a lot of that is going to have to do with how Trey Lance improves week to week as a passer. I thought Jimmy Garoppolo was kind of hurting a few series before he came out with that calf injury. I thought he was favoring that calf before he came out. And with that calf injury, usually that works down to an Achilles injury. That seems like about 2 or 3 weeks at least, depending on the severity of that. So not sure on the timetable, but I think there is a chance that you will see Trey Lance start, for the foreseeable, or for the next few games, without knowing all the information on Garoppolo's injury.
So you think Jimmy's going to be DNP for next week for sure?
I mean, I would think so when you come out with a calf injury and seeing how he, I believe he got hurt last year, and I think he tried to come back from a sprained ankle a little bit too quick, really struggled with that, but it's going to hurt the mobility, the throwing on the run, just the throwing in general. If he does have a calf, I know there's a couple of, I know a couple players on the Browns have calf injuries and they're out, week to week at least. That's 2 or 3 weeks. So, I do think if it's close and questionable, I think they could give Lance the full week of practice and have him ready and then reassess when Garoppolo gets to be 100%.
Yeah, and I will say this too. Part of the reason why they also did trade up to get a quarterback was because Jimmy G stays hurt, right?
Been hurt 3 out of 4 years.
Yeah,
substantial time.
So right now they have somebody they can go to. Now my thing is, we can mention the running and what he does, and the running is fine, but let's keep this in perspective. He's not the running is special, but it's not Lamar Jackson special, right? You can legitimately run it with Lamar 20 times a game and be okay with that. And Lamar's still a much better passer than what Trey Lance is, too. Let's also put that in perspective. Trey Lance isn't that special. So if the passing is subpar and the running isn't, it's really good. It's really good, but it's not special like Lamar and like Michael Vick, like that type of special, then to me, that draws back the offense. Because he's not going to be, to me, from what I saw, he consistently can't make the throws. He consistently can't make the throws. Mm-hmm. The good throws with touch and accuracy and precision were few and far between. And like I said, the one touchdown, the receiver had to break stride and come back and to get the ball, and nobody was there. And blown coverages like that aren't going to keep happening over and over and over again.
Yeah, I think they're going to really have to lean on Kyle Shanahan trying to get guys wide open and doing that schematically, which he has the ability to do, but ultimately you got to make some plays by yourself as a passer. And one of the things that San Francisco offense has not been able to do is really get George Kittle, really get him going back to that Pro Bowl level today. 4 catches on 11 targets, but they've been having a difficult time getting him the football. I think that could be a trusted safety valve for Trey Lance, but really to make that offense go, again, from a passing standpoint, they're still running the ball well, but they got to be, at least like at a baseline, average level, at least from a passing game standpoint, really leaning on George Kittle and getting him going as a tight end, which they have traditionally been able to do. But, maybe Lance happens to find a good rapport with him. But, I think he avoided a bad injury today, but eventually going to have to get that passing game going, and I think it starts with George Kittle.